If you want to be successful, then you adopt the Bitcoin standard. You buy Bitcoin, you hold Bitcoin, you support the Bitcoin protocol. You do not sell your Bitcoin. For the first time in human history, we can grant property rights to 8 billion people. That's what I think is cool. I don't think there's any outcome other than favorable for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the ethical safe haven for any public figure. It is the technical safe haven for any technical company, and it is the financial safe haven for any investors. It's the most secure, most reliable, most certain thing in the entire economic universe.
Well, for all the Bitcoin skeptics out there, we've got some bullish news that you'd probably regret missing. Prepare to get super bullish because the road to 5 million cuck bucks of Bitcoin may be shorter than we think. We got a lot to cover. Let's get it. First up, we got a tweet that's going to make you rethink if you've ever missed the Bitcoin boat. We can take a look here. Global Bitcoin adoption is still under 1%, and somehow you think you've missed the boat. Wrong. People have barely even started boarding the thing. So next time you hear someone saying Bitcoin's glory days are over, remind them of this. Going into the hopium den, baby. But Bitcoin on-chain behavior is repeating. Each cycle velocity increases as Bitcoin price pulls out of the bear market, and guess what? Retail is just about to dive in. Because guess what? FASB approved it, and this is crazy. Citigroup, Brad Sherman, how many times has he shit on Bitcoin and praised the money printer? Hilarious. Binance, BlockFi, KPMG, which put out the big Bitcoin is good for the environment report recently. DCG, kind of suspect. But you can go find everyone that's listed on there down in the show notes. And you know, speaking of FASB, and we got a lot of other things going on, but as we're talking of bullish signals, here's Michael Saylor, and he's talking about the trifecta that will send Bitcoin to 5 million, and we're gonna spin it.
And then
I think there's three big. Look, first of all, it's going up by a factor of 10 whether they fix any of the stuff, right? It's going to go it's going to be a grind up by a factor of 10 just because gold is broken and Bitcoin's going to replace gold. And now everybody in the universe knows they need a non-sovereign store of value in the form of a bearer instrument. So now they're looking, the amount of stories for last year, people said inflation may be coming. We're not sure. Now the mainstream narrative is flipped to inflation is here. You need an inflation hedge. So it's going to grind up to replace gold. It'll go to $500,000 a coin, regardless of whether they fix these things. But there are three things that are massive catalysts that cause an acceleration. And I don't think that those three things don't take us to 500,000. They take us to 5 million a coin, right? Those three things are a spot ETF where someone can go ahead and buy $100 million of Bitcoin, buy a security, an ETF security. I think that's one. Two is your bank is going to custody it for you and lend against it. And three is I can mark it up or mark it down on my balance sheet based on fair value. Pari passu. It'll be pari passu to the way I'd handle Apple stock, or at least that good. If you have property with fair value accounting, by the way, it becomes pari passu to the way you'd handle treasury bonds on a treasury balance sheet. Treasuries are better than stocks because treasury is property, whereas a stock is a security, and you're capped out at 40% of your balance sheet as security. So it would be a major, major breakthrough if you saw any of those three things. And I'll end with this one observation. I tweeted this last week, but I think it's very powerful. It's if the banks can hold this stuff on their balance sheet, then a whole new class of investors are going to buy it. People are going to put in billion and multi-billion-dollar orders to buy it as a treasury asset. Nobody's going to sell it because there's no reason to sell it if you can borrow against it at LIBOR plus or at SOFR plus 50 basis points. Right, so you'll be borrowing against Bitcoin at SOFR plus 50 or SOFR plus 100 basis points. No one's ever going to sell it, and then, as I joked, you won't be able to afford it. I mean, you will be able to afford it, but everybody gets Bitcoin at the price they deserve. When the banks normalize it, and you can draw a $100 million credit line at 100 basis points from an FDIC insured bank, at that point, right, we're going to blow through the market cap of gold by a factor of 10.
Right.
So I think the best thing is those three things are highly likely to happen. I don't know if they happen in 36 months or 24 months or 12 months, but I would be shocked if it's more than 36 months. And I hope, guys, it doesn't happen in 12 months because my view is the longer it takes, the more progressive the grind, the more time I have to buy more of it.
And Bitcoin Therapist nails it here. Saylor is teaching a masterclass on Bitcoin because we got institutions coming, FASB rules approved. The Bitcoin ETF is imminent, and not to mention the halving in April of 2024. What is with all this FASB news, you say? Well, let's break it down because it's a big deal. FASB greenlights fair value accounting. Check this out. With the dawn of fair value accounting, businesses can herald periodic unrealized gains or losses, pushing firms towards long-term Bitcoin retention. Of course, challenges lie ahead, but in summation, this pivotal leap enriches transparency and cements Bitcoin's role in global finance, and we'll have the full link to that article down below. We got so much more to get to. Let's go. Like we said, it doesn't end there, and we've previously shown this old clip of the former SEC chairman mentioning that, well, Spot Bitcoin ETF approval is just around the corner, and as he said, it is inevitable. All right, now let's talk about the behemoth in the room, BlackRock. Check this out. $9.3 trillion in assets, publicly endorsed Bitcoin, actively pursuing an ETF. Look at these numbers. BlackRock is the size of, I don't know, a third of US GDP, almost half of China's GDP. You think that's a big deal? BlackRock's endorsement of Bitcoin is no small matter, and their size is comparable, as you see, to the GDPs of world superpowers. And buckle up, guys, because BlackRock has a staggering 99.8% ETF approval rate, and they're gearing up for the Bitcoin revolution. So hold on to your seats. This is the calm, the little lull before the storm. Said it before and we'll say it again. BlackRock's prowess is unmatched. The real question isn't if the US will adopt a spot Bitcoin ETF, but when. All right, time for a reality check. MDBTC nails it here. If you're not on the Bitcoin train yet, maybe you need a crash course in money, cryptography, game theory, Austrian economics, and more. So wake up, folks, because the revolution's here and it's not stopping on your accord. All right, now I want you to sit back and relax and envision a world where one Bitcoin is north of $10 million. Yeah, let that sink in. But then also imagine your friends and family looking back on you talking about monkey JPEGs and dog coins instead of buying more Bitcoin, and then they're living in a paper box in reality and in some dystopian metaverse. Just stack sats. And guys, with all this bullishness going on, you want to make sure you're taking care of your generational wealth and protecting your Bitcoin the right way. And luckily, now there is an IT team in the Bitcoin world, and that is the Bitcoin Way. They can help you become your own bank. If you need help with wallet and nodes, no KYC purchases, best practices, securing your digital life, and working to become your own bank, if you need help, we have a link down in the description, and you can schedule a call with the Bitcoin Way today. So taking a look at this with BlackRock's ETF, impending approval in the Bitcoin community's unwavering faith. They'll stack through anything. Where do you think we're headed? And yeah, it's not like Michael Saylor's the only guy bullish on Bitcoin. I mean, Larry Fink really starting to sound a lot like Michael Saylor, and that is scary.
It's digitizing gold in many ways. Instead of investing in gold as a hedge against inflation, a hedge against the onerous problems of any one country, or the devaluation of your currency, whatever country you're in. Let's be clear. Bitcoin is an international asset. It's not based on any one currency, and so it can represent an asset that people can play as an alternative. I would call the foundation of BlackRock is about hope. You invest for retirement because you believe tomorrow is better than today.
You know what? I think at the end of the day, everyone's starting to figure out, like Michael Saylor, Bitcoin is the truth machine. You can't stop it. You can only hope to contain it. And the incentives are so strong that your best option is to just hop on board. But you don't want to be late to the party.
If you think of Bitcoin as just money, you're thinking too small. Yes, it's money, and it's truthful money. But the reason Bitcoin is the hardest money in the history of the world is because it has integrity. Not because it's a computer system that uses energy. It's a system that was engineered to have integrity and to be thermodynamically sound, to actually manifest scarcity. And that integrity can be used for the root application of money and banking, if you will, especially money and monetary transfer. But there's a lot of other things you can do with it. And the other things have to do with integrity and veracity, and we call it a truth machine, not just a money machine.
All right, I don't know what to tell you, but if you're not bullish yet, you may want to go to the doctor and get some things worked out and checked. But if you still need a little more hopium, you need more bullishness, well, we got you covered, baby. Rocket ship, get on board. I'll catch you all tomorrow. Peace.